Lords and ladies, welcome back to more than Third Age with me, the Casual Gaming Dad. Now, since last time, I know it took us a bit longer than I said it was going to, but I had some other things I had to take care of. I have now got everybody up to level 99, which is the max level, and everyone knows all of their abilities. So all that's left to do now is their stats, which, for the most part, for most characters, is very simple. They've got one major dump stat. So for Better Thoughts, is strength. I guess his strength as high as possible. His health's honestly fine like that, same as his spirit. But let's increase his dex and his speed a little bit. Well, that's 4 points and go into his dexterity. He gets a little bit of health off that, but he will be hitting a lot harder now. Now, obviously, this man Elgost, I'll tell you what, I'll come to Elgost at the end. Because he's probably going to be the most awkward to do. There is a certain way I want to do Elgost. I don't want to put any points in now. What am I doing? Because I do want to explain why I'm going to build Elgost the way I'm going to build Elgost. Idriel should be, Idriel's is a no-brainer. She is just spirit and speed. Make her stupid fast, and make her spirit attacks hit ridiculously hard. Honestly, 180 speed is probably enough. I can eke out some more spirit there. We'll do that. Yeah, we've got 1,800 AP on Idriel now, so she's got plenty for her abilities. Now, Hard, I do want him to have at least 110 spirit for the extra AP. His speed does matter, but it's not as crucial as you might think with Hard. Since he does have a self-buffing. One of his passes is it self-buffs his speed in battle. He's actually fairly quick. Now, I could go for his con stat for more health for his taunts, but honestly, he still gets over 8k there at 195 strength, and since he's guaranteed a critical hit at the minimum with his passive perfect mode, the more strength, the better. Now, Morwen, she definitely needs a little bit more health. Her dexterity is already really good, so if we can get her speed up a little bit to match. She's also the only character that doesn't have over 1,000 spirit, so I do want to give her a little bit more spirit before putting absolutely everything else into strength. Now, if you did go battle mage route for Morwen, just put it all into speed and all into her spirit. She needs nothing else, but since I didn't, I'm going to do that so she can hit a bit harder for us. Now, what we have left now is Aiden and Elgost. Now, to show this properly, so he's got a cracked Elfstone of Spirit Enhancement, and I do believe, yeah, he does as well. But the only polished one we have for, actually massive spirit damage is on Idriel. And we don't actually get another one of them. But because my end result for these two is generally always a spirit build, just, if I want to come back and redo the last few fights, sort of as strong as possible, then I do tend to make both of these spirit users. But at the minute, until I can do that, he is going to be hitting better with his physical attacks. So I do want speed, and then what I want to do is I'll take his strength, I think, up to 150, which is a good point for Aiden's strength, and everything else can go into spirit for his drain health, the fire wheel and whatnot. I'll go 180. No, we'll go 180. We'll give him 180 in dex. Because that obviously will synergize nicely with his, his Rampage of Hell and his Wrath of Edoras, but still leave him to be built for, his drain health, his drain spirit and stuff like that. Sacrifice scatter health, which is another really, really good one. But Elgost needs the dexterity. He needs to be able to hit. We need speed on him because he is a glass cannon. I'll give him a little bit more health. His spirit, I still need his spirit like higher than his strength. And I know anybody who's played this game is probably sitting there looking going, well, why are you doing that for? Most of his ranger skills and his bow skills don't scale off his spirit, they scale off his strength. Which, you're 100% right, they do. Which is why I'm going to do it like that. But the thing is my endgame build for him revolves around getting a certain Elfstone that, if I ever want to replay it, allows Northern Storm to do absolutely insane amounts of damage. But I also still like using Northern Storm now, whereas his true shot is 150 AP. Now, these are my final builds. There's nothing special. There's nothing, you know, fantastic there. But this is what I go like for me endgame builds. Ignore the playtime on there. There was other things I was also testing while I was grinding. My end result for time it takes to grind is roughly 78 hours to get everyone to 99 with all their abilities in this game. And now we can continue down Pelenor Fields. And straight into a battle. Was it Orcs? Easterlings? Orcs. Oh, and straight off the bat we get to see what Idriel's like. So we'll frenzy. Yeah, that's a good idea. So I don't want to use my horses quite yet. You know, I want to save the horse. 23,000. Yeah, that's still not enough to kill. Which, as you can see, that's partly why I don't think all that grinding I've done is all that bad, to be honest. Now, I'll still make sure, you know, I bring in other characters and show off other characters time to time. We do have Gondor Rampage now for Berethor, so let's have a look at that. That massive strength stat for him does so much. Yeah, that's not even a fraction of the damage we're going to need to fight to beat some of the bosses here. Whereas Elgost's true shot at 52,000. But you'll have seen the impact it had on his turn order. That is very... It's very much a negative for his turn order, and obviously the next fight will show off. Well, the other three characters, we'll see what they can do. Over here we get a new fountain. Well, we get some new equipment. I might have clicked that button far too fast. So let's have a look at what we got there. One of them was for Elgost, which, oh, a new cloak for him, an extra 4 armor. See, now he's going to lose a little bit of speed, but more con and dex, and a little bit more armor. But, you know, we'll equip it. I like the colour of that one. Now, this pin here, right, this... I've always thought this to be an extremely interesting pin because you can see my spirit's going to tank from 180 to 167. But I get a nice dex and speed increase. It's also a very plain pin. Now, I do normally go with that because, you know, as I've said multiple times doing this, like any RPG or JRPG, speed is king. You know, the faster we are, the more likely we are to actually, you know, kill. So let's have a look at... We've got Morwen here with her Rohirric Rampage now, which is a nice little 6-hitter there. I was going to say, did that not kill? I was about to say, did that thing just ate 50k and not die? Now, Aeden's turn. Where he can show us the Rampage of Helm, which is a 5-hit combo. A very slow 5-hitting combo, but it's a 5-hit combo nonetheless. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, oh, this damage is actually insane. This is too much damage for the point in the game, you know, that we're at. But what I will say to that is, there is some enemies we are going to fight in Pelenor Fields that are going to take these hits here, and they are going to think absolutely nothing of them. Like, if I wanted to save AP here instead of using Durin's Rage and did a Dwarven Cleave, 18,000 is nowhere near killing the Orc yet. Their attacks don't hit too hard, but they'd have hit that hard anyway, because absolutely nothing I've done has increased armor ratings on anybody. But old hard HUD there. So yeah, I do hit very... the heroes now do hit very hard. I just totally clicked through the fact that we got some equipment there. That is my apologies. Golden Spear of Amon Hen, which isn't as good as the one we're using, but it does look very nice. I do like the look of that one. What I've actually been using at the minute is the Glaive of the High King for the speed, rather than the Glaive of Eregion, which I should probably use the Glaive of Eregion, to be honest with you. Yeah, we'll use the Glaive of Eregion. Whoop. No. There was somebody else got equipment. Berethor. So this is the last sword Pelenor gets in the game. A blade wielded by the most ancient beings of Middle-earth. The first age mythical longsword of the Valar. Now we do take a 2-point hit to our strength. But, one, the blade looks beautiful. And its base damage is 250 plus 25 damage per level. That is the point of when, you know, what I'm doing here sort of gets a bit wild, is the extra damage per level on the weapons. Because we've got 99 levels now, so we're getting, you know, Perenor's getting an extra 25 damage times 99 on his hit. But these he also gets Bite and Blade with this for counter attack, so he does heal. But these enemies here, especially the one over in the corner there, the Orc Captain, these guys have a lot of health. I mean, look at the defense as well. That increase in damage, and I'm doing less damage. Like Morwen should be able to one-shot one of these. We do get Orcbane for it, which, I mean, I'll show here. It deals more damage, but oh, just enough to kill as well. Sorry. But you'll notice with a lot of what I'm doing here, I'm not going to be using the big massive hit and move that regular. I do tend to use the cheaper, more viable options. It's just there is a lot of moves I did want to show off as well before this recording was done, and I know once I'm finished, I am going to have some extra grinding that I have to do. So as you can see, our aim is to get over there where the Nazgul on his fell beast is. You can see the save crystal off in the distance, but before doing that, we've got a save point here. Now I absolutely hate Pelenor fields, right? I hate moving around it. Every transition throws you into a battle. These are the only random battles that seem to occur. Oh, we got a troll. We have an elite troll captain and an elite shadow chieftain. So let's see if we get rid of the shadow chieftain with a Gondor rampage. We did. Not by much, I don't think. And just to show you that, you know, the enemies here do get a lot stronger. We Rohirric rampage. Even at our strength and our attack on them weapons, that troll took nothing for 24,000 damage. We technically hit that for 24k there. And it did nothing. I mean, then Hadhod comes in and swings at it for 15, which is honestly great. But the thing I've always found the weirdest about Pelenor Fields is that I think the game expects you to be here, you know, max level, all these skills, all your skills and everything learned. Yet the enemies don't really hit that much harder than they did in Minas Tirith. And our armor hasn't really increased that much. I mean, even here, the shield is a downgrade unless I want one additional point of strength, which I don't really, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not really a fan of the look of that shield neither. I don't like my gold elven battle shield. But we get the second age for Linden Mithril Falcon, or Idril as well, which gives her more spirit, more speed, so why not? It's also a rather nice looking sword. And we can open some more treasure here. And that treasure had nothing in it of interest at all. Good job, game. Well done. Thank you very much. Yeah, once you've fought the battle once for the screen transition, it doesn't actually force you to fight it again, which is fairly nice. Well, like I say, I'm pretty sure I haven't missed any items. What I will do while I'm off screen is I'll double check to make sure that I haven't, and if I have, I'll make a note of it and I can go back and get them. But like I say, this is the last area in the game. This is our final item collection point. Now we do have Mountain Hewer here for Hadhod, which is just an AoE stone hewer. So if you did want to build him based on spirit damage instead of Idril, which is completely and utterly viable, you can. He still works that way. Or even Elgots with the Polished Elfstone for Northern Storm. Both of them are cheaper options for AoE damage than, obviously, water horses or water stallion. But Idril gains the benefit of being able to, you know, heal as well. That these two don't actually get. But as you can see the damage we've done here, right, and these guys are still got pretty good health. And I know for a fact I'm about to do this, and this isn't even going to kill the two on the side, probably. I'm pretty sure they have a really high resistance to water spirit damage, if I remember rightly. I don't know why a Mordor Orc would have resistance to water spirit damage. You would have thought it would have been Shadow that they'd have a resistance to, but... yeah, see? 4,000, that's all they've done to the ones on the side. So those guys on the side have took, honestly, a fair whack of damage. I love how you can see, obviously, Orodruin in the background there, and you know, you got the Nazgul and the Fell Beast just flying above us. Now, the problem I have to pay here for taking all those attacks, like using all those spirit-based attacks, is I do have to take the beating that comes afterwards. Which is absolutely fine, because I did want to demonstrate Gift of the Grey Haven, which, as you can see, restores significant health to the entire group. And it heals so good. Like, it heals a lot, but it does cost 200, so bear that in mind when you decide to use it. Now, obviously, we can have a look at, you know, how much spirit damage he's dealing. Ignore the one that took 600, that was because of the shield he had on, but about 7,500, 9,500 HP drain though, when he only has 5 is really, really weird, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, it is really, really weird, but hey ho, who am I to see otherwise? Now, like I say, there is still a few other abilities on the other characters I do want to show off. Now, what I hate about this, right, about Pelenor Fields, is I don't know if I've come from the left or down. I'm pretty sure I've came from down, but I always double back to check. I did come from down, because there was the save point. Ha. So instead of going straight up here, what I actually want to do is I actually want to go left, I think. Or do I just want to go straight up? No, I think I want to go straight up, I think. Pelenor, you'll have to bear with this. Pelenor Fields always confuses us, but there is one thing in particular I'm looking for. This is not the one thing I was looking for. Where? Now, had Spirit Clave I'm going to show off, but not against orcs. The Spirit Clave allows you to deal more spirit damage. So we can have a look at Gil-galad Rampage as well. Why not? A little cheeky 3-hit attack there that you can do if you build physically. It's better than absolutely nothing, I guess. Idril doesn't really provide a lot. A lot of physical damage. She is definitely meant to be built special. Cheeky little uppercut there for 27. Right. 3-hit Ecthelion Wrath. Can it kill the archer? A 1. A 2. He's dead. That's enough, Berethor. Stop. I think he was dead after the second hit. Can't wait till we get rid of that silly helmet on Berethor. Really, I can't. Couldn't happen any quicker. Ah, this wasn't where I wanted to go. I did want to turn left. Dead row, hear him everywhere. This must be terrible for Morwen when you think about it, you know. You know, she was exiled from Gondor because of Berethor. Then she's having to see Gondorians dead. So there was nothing interesting after that battle, but I will say we fought a drummer troll in that Berethor actually missed an attack on out of his Gondor rampage. And that troll was still alive after being hit for 52,000 damage. Right, and after that battle we get some Mithril Pauldrons for Hadhod, and it's some Steel Tassets for Morwen. Who, I was saying, you know, if you think about it, she's probably the worst person, she's probably the most unlucky person to currently be on Pelenor Fields. Given the fact, you know, she was exiled from Gondor. More dex and speed, let's go. Exiled from Gondor because of Berethor's cowardice. Went to live in Rohan. Had to live there where her family was killed. Now she's come back to Gondor. And she has to see Rohirrim and Gondorians lying next to each other dead. Now, I never really understood the point of this axe. We get it after the Easterling Steel Piercing axe, but I'm pretty sure this was evil mode for this axe. So, if you're not doing the evil modes, if you're doing a run without evil mode, which is completely possible to do and absolutely fine, and in fact, it probably makes the game a little bit more entertaining, then that is a really good axe for her. But I prefer the Easterling axe. While I now run up here, which will no doubt take us through more screens and more fights. I was actually going to cut this fight, but on second thought, I think I might leave it in just so I can show off Morwen's most expensive Thiefcraft skill. So all the Thiefcrafts, I mean, you've seen us use steel item. These skill steals a skill point, which was quite nice while grinding because I just used steel skill repeatedly. Capture strength, it's a temporary strength boost, same as action and dexterity. No, same as dexterity, sorry. Action, she drains AP, health, she's self-sufficient on health. And experience steals experience points, but her big one is Cloak of the Plains, which allows her to go fully invisible for a short time. Which honestly is sorry, which is in my opinion really cool. I don't know if anybody else thinks of that. If I remember rightly, I think it makes her untargetable as well by the enemy. Not like we're going to find out because they're targeted Berethor anyway. And has her invisibility already wore off? No, it has not. So now I should be able to attack, and it should just be a guaranteed hit because, well, they can't see us running up to them. I am invisible. I don't think I ever use it much, to be honest with you. It's just kind of one of them moves that just sits there, like most of the thief skills, apart from steal item, which obviously I do tend to steal. I do tend to steal items quite a lot from the enemies. Over here we get a silver tiara of Galadhon for Idril, which is a nice looking tiara with more speed and more spirit. We're not really bothered about the dex. We're not making any dex saves with Idril. It does affect how often the enemy can hit you as well, but I mean, Idril's armor rating's that high that honestly I don't really think she cares about the enemy hitting her. You'd think with all my prep for this game that I would have, you know, made a checklist of items or something to know that, you know, I'm not missing anything, especially in Pelenor Fields here. But I'll check after the episode. I'll check off screen. So now we just continue on upward. Onwards and upwards. And you can actually see a second save point there. So there's one over there, and then there's one all the way over there in the distance as well. Now we've already been to this screen. So all that's left to do now is to continue down for more battles. Okay, again, I was going to cut this one out, but it is a battle with the Nazgul. At top is fell based, so I was like, you know what, I'll keep this in and we'll have a look. Let's see how quickly we can dispatch a Nazgul, because as you can see, Nazgul still have a lot of armor. So that's what 16 is 32 is 48,000 damage. So another Rohirrim rampage and it should be gone. I'll just ignore the fact it costs us like 300 AP in a single turn to get rid of a Nazgul, which is a lot of AP when you think about it. But we are now strong enough to keep back the servants of Mordor single-handedly with just Morwen. But for winning that, we get a Rohirrim Steel Scale Mail Hauberk for Aegon, and we get my favourite shield for Berethor. Now, I absolutely love this shield. Filled with elven power, this shield can withstand all but the mightiest strikes. The only thing we lose here is dex. Everything else is a bonus. Now, it's the exact same as the gold shield we just had on. As you can see there, it's just a color, it's just a palette swap. But I really do like that, the look of that shield. A nice upgrade for Aiden there, more speed and strength. A really nice armor upgrade for him as well. So we're not going to say no to that. Another save point, which I probably should make use of. If it wasn't for the fact that to learn all the craft skills on Morwen, I had her just infinitely crafting Leaves of Voltobi because they were cheap. This is one thing you have to keep in mind though, if you are going to power level. You lose all your level ups. You're not going to gain any more level ups, so there's no more free HP and AP resets. For another battle! Oh, we got some Eastlings this time. Now these guys hit hard to start with. And now these are elite Eastling warriors and vets. So let's see how they stand up to Hadhod's Rampage of Durin. That's going to be what? 48,000? 48,000 is enough to take them out. What about Gondor Rampage though? Especially on the vet. The vets do have more health and armor, as you can see. What, 6,000 by 5, that's 36,000? 12, 24, 30,000, sorry, 30,000. 30,000 damage and he's still alive. 40,000 damage and he's still alive. Can you imagine what it would be like doing this and you didn't have the insane damage that I had? I suppose I could Valorous Charge and get rid of him. I'd have to take the hit from the second one, but just for turn economy. Oh my god, it still didn't kill. I was trying to save on turn economy game, and you hold me. The game hold me. Is there anyone I'd rather switch to here? Elgost has a lot of health. My Elgost is not so much a glass cannon as he used to be. And you don't see why I give him the AP. If you frenzy for 125, this is 425 AP for this one singular turn for Elgost. And even that true shot wouldn't have been enough to kill him. Right, so I'm not going to... 425 AP if you go for double true shot. I'm not, because he's almost dead. But even that single true shot wouldn't have been enough to take out that one veteran. Now, granted, if I'd put more into his strength, then maybe's. But I chose not to because I'd rather have the extra AP available to me for actually using true shot. Quick scan to make sure there's no chests we're missing, and as you can see up ahead, there is Mumakil. And after that battle there, we get absolutely nothing, but we do get one step closer to the Mumakil. Up the top there, as you can see. Now, I will say that fight there did include a troll with a hammer, who took 60,000 damage off Hadhod and stared at me. 60,000 damage and he was still standing. Oh. And I have to rampage, I have to use Gondor Rampage to kill these, or else they still survive because of their sheer amount of armor. And he still survives. 14, 28. That was 35,000 and he's still standing. Fair enough. I see what needs to be done. I will true shot the Orc Archer, just because I really do like the true shot animation. I do prefer Northern Storm. 52,000. My lord, that is fantastic. And then shoot the wrong Easterling, obviously. Yep. We will shoot the wrong Easterling. Good job the Hodge here to clean up, isn't it? So Rampage of Durin on that one, and then we should just be able to dwarf and cleave the other one. I could use cheaper moves with Hadhod, but I love how much he jumps about and flails his axe about with Durin's Rampage. Especially the fact that he just chucks it up into the air before catching it to attack and just slamming it down. Like, I don't know what it is, but just seeing a dwarf do something like that is, especially with the big hammer he's using. I think it's amazing. I really do. I like it. But for that, we do get, oh, look at that, equipment for Hadhod as well. It's a good job he was the one to finish the fight then. So we get some Mithril Van Braces. I think we've been rocking these ones for a while as well, the steel plates. Or it might have just been Minas Tirith actually. No, it was Minas Tirith, we got new Van Braces for him. Same as the Graves, I think we only got the Steel in Minas Tirith, but it's more speed. So 133 speed now. He is fast, he is round. He's almost like Whitney's milk tank from Pokemon Gold. God, I hated that milk tank when I was a kid. But we get a new brooch for Elgost here. And another pin for Aiden, even though it really hasn't been that long since we got one for him. But this brooch here is so good, really good defense on it. 48 defense, 47 defense, 47 armor. Get me words out. Nice dex boost. We lose 6 speed, which I'm honestly fine with. But we gain more spirit, which means more AP, which does eventually mean more damage when I get him on the build I want. Now, if this one didn't lower me speed as much, I mean, honestly, am I really that bothered? 187 spirit. No, that one's that is an end game when I get a few other pieces of equipment that I would like for him and Aiden. No, him and Aiden. Him and Elgost. Once I get a few other bits of equipment for him and Elgost, that is definitely a pin that I will use for him. But not so much for now. Now, is it time for the first Murmikil? Is it time? It is time. So, this big bulking Murmikil Farad will stun lock your entire party to death. So I'm 100% using Stand Fast. He also likes to drain your AP, as you've just witnessed there. He takes a lot of AP off you as well. And just because I can, because we haven't hit him yet, he's got a full health bar. We are going to Frenzy True Shot him. 41,000 off a True Shot. 41,500, and it's not even half his health. Closer to a quarter, if it even done a quarter of his health. That is how tanky these Murmikil are. Now, they don't hit hard, but they're annoying with their AP drains. Yeah, we haven't got them to half health yet. You know, with their, obviously, the AP drains that they can do, as well as, you know, the stunning. The damage, they don't deal a lot of damage. It's just absolutely everything else that they do that makes them a huge pain. Although the animation when you hit them is... I do like the animation when you hit them. It's the exact same animation that looked like they used in the film from when Eowyns and Merry were going underneath the legs as Eowyn hit them at the knees with the swords. So, it's still alive. I mean, thankfully these don't have they have some armor, but not as much as other enemies. But less armor than the Easterlings that ride on them. But killing them is fairly easy. I also love the way they die as well. They just burst into like a flurry of darkness. It's rather nice to see, to be honest with you, from a really weird standpoint. But we don't get anything interesting for winning that fight, apart from chucked all the way up here by the save point. Now, if the battle arm after is on the next screen, then I will 100% just heal up, and we will go. I'll tell you what, we'll heal up and we'll go have a look at the battle arm I want to include. I was hoping to get doing this episode's on the next screen. I'm hoping it is. Let's just quickly refresh everyone's AP, make sure everyone's good as gold there. And we will continue upwards. Rally to me! Don't think so, mate. Not with that thing bearing down on you. Get on there, Eowyn. Go on. Show the Fellbase who's boss. Come on. Ah, such a good part of the film. Even better part in the books. But I think that's true for every part of the film. Little Meriadoc coming to Eowyn's rescue. As you know, Eowyn argues on semantics about, you know, the no man can kill me part. But we're not going to get stuck down on that. It is a really great scene, either way, films or books. But here we have the Lord of the Nazgul, the Witch King himself, now stands in front of us. And as always, first things first, we've got to steal from him. And we get a Rohirric Silver Battle Axe, which is from Eowyn. Now, this dude is an absolute pain, and he counterattacks everything, and he hurts, as you can see. Especially on Eowyn, who has very little armor. This guy has a lot of armor, right? I am in no way or shape at all embarrassed about the fact that I am looking for my... Where is it? My mob... My Marble Decay is supposed to be quite hard to get compared to Rust of Moria, which just reduces in armor value. Marble Decay I have 237 of after grinding, and I'll be lucky if I use 3 in what's left in this game. But I am removing his full armor. Let's have a look at Edra's Wrath here from Eowyn. What can she do? Now bear in mind that is when the Witch King has no armor. I have removed his armor. Otherwise that attack deals... it deals about 600 a hit. I didn't mean to double attack there, but whatever. I actually wanted to set up shields. But we can just Rampage of Durin. Let Durin's folk. As you can see, we deal a lot more armor, a lot more damage when things don't have armor. Yet he is still very much alive. I'm actually just going to skip my turn there. So I do want to bring Idril in. Ah, no, but then I've done that wrong. So we'll bring Aiden in. But I actually want to show you I've done wrong. What can this dude do? Oh, you can cast haste on Hadhod. Let's try and get Hadhod's turn up a bit quicker. There is one thing in particular that I do want to try and do here. And can you slow him down? Can he be slowed? Elgost is that fast, he gets so many turns. As you can see, once the enemy's armor is removed, I haven't used this all that often. But when the enemy has no armor, he's actually really easy. The damage just spikes. I mean, even without the stats and the levels I've got. Westfold Rage, let's have a look at Westfold Rage. I'd still be dealing 15 to 20,000 damage to him without him having any armor. Which is a lot more than Eowyn would be doing. Oh no, she got counter-slapped. Anyway, Idril, I have a plan. There is something I want to demonstrate, and it involves using Valorous Haste on Hadhod first. Now, if you remember me saying, Hadhod has a move now called Spirit Clave. A melee attack that lowers the spirit defense of foes. Marble Decay just gets rid of their physical defense value. 36,000 for hitting them in the knees is diabolical. Thankfully, you can't counterattack a counterattack, else we'd be here all day. The only thing is I don't want Berethor to actually do anything here. So he just gets to do another Royal Grace. Hadhod isn't going to be doing anything here neither, if I'm completely honest with you. Oh no, fear. Yeah, you stay there, Eowyn. That's fine. Yeah, I tell you what, Eowyn, have a mountain shield. Have a shield. Could I perhaps interest you in a nice shield from the mountains? I guess we can get rid of her fear. Whatever, it's fine. Don't be scared, Eowyn. Have no fear. Berethor is here. So now if you look, we've got Morgul Decay and Spirit Clave on him. So, how much is Loudwater Fury going to do? 15,000. When we lower it, it doesn't actually lower that much compared to what you're about to see Berethor do with Gondor Rampage. 26,000 a hit. That's what, 52 or 104. The crit at the end, like 140,000 damage. Yet from the get-go of that fight, that's not enough to kill the Witch King. I am no man. Oh, such a good scene. Even in the books, it's amazing. And poor Mary had a brandy book there. just crumpled on the floor in the background. Now you do get good experience. We would have got more experience there if everyone's health was a bit more full, which is something I found out only when grinding out the levels. The more health you have when you finish a battle, the more experience you get, which is always nice to know. But we get a helm of the Great Hall for Morwen and a second age silver spear of the Queen of Lorien for Theoden.
Eowyn is trapped by the orcs.
That orc creature rallies his force one final time.
Gothmog.
Eowyns is now King of Rohan. He must be saved. Hold, my friend. I come to your aid this time.
That is Ride to Ruindun though. And now to get to where we need to go, as you can see, there's a lot of Myrmikills. And unfortunately, the game pulls a real, what I like to call a bastard move here. If, you know, we can go back that way, which I do want to, because that's where the save point is. Unfortunately, the only way to get there is to fight the Myrmikill again. This is a spear of the Lady of the Woods. Honestly, not bad as far as, you know, your speed, your dex, and your spirit goes, and I don't actually lose that much strength. I mean, it's a nice enough looking spear, but all of his spears sort of look the same now at this point. So I'm just going to stick to the glaive of the High King. But there is the Rohirric Silver Battle Axe. It's 1 point of damage behind the Dwarven Mithril Battle Axe. But it does give you +8 strength and +3 speed. So it's not a bad option, all in. Aesilin is still obviously better. And the new helmet of hers, a lovely defense increase there. Armor increase. Lose a little bit of health and dex, but gain in spirit and speed, which honestly just for spirit, not for spirit, just for speed, I think it's 100% worth it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take care of this Myrmikill before getting back to the save point. Ah, my bad. Myrmikills just never disappear off the map. I think you have to fight it when you go back through, actually. But, unfortunately, this is where I'm going to be leaving this episode. Eomer is saved. No, Eowyn is saved, sorry. Eomer is still to be saved. But, can we make our way through the forces of Haradrim and orcs to make our way to him? I'm afraid you're going to have to tune in next time to find that out. So, as always, this has been the Casual Gaming Dad, signing off. Stay safe.